Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the Gathering webinar, the Exhibitor Portal webinar. We're going to give it probably a few seconds, probably 20, 30 seconds just to make sure that we can get more people in here. But after that, we will kick things off and do a walkthrough of the portal. We will be recording this so that way, in case any of your team members or anybody who else couldn't join us, we'll make sure that we have that added to our resources page for you. So just giving the heads up there that we'll have that recording. So you guys will always have this as a resource to reference to going back once you log into the portal yourselves. Give it a few more seconds. Welcome, Peter. I think we are good to officially kick it off. So thank you to everybody who could join us today for the Exhibitor Portal webinar for the Gathering. We're really excited to have you guys at the event this year, and we're excited to walk through the system with you just so that way you know the best way to utilize it and maximize all your networking potential there. Click next screen. All right, so quick introduction. So you guys are probably used to working with Cameron from our team. So she is very likely on vacation right now somewhere in the Mediterranean. So Melissa and I are going to be handling this for her. So I will be hosting the demo and walking you through the platform. So I'm Ashley. I'm the group director of digital engagement and products. Our team works really closely with Cameron and our other events that we have at Clarion for the mobile app build. And I'll hand it over to Melissa to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa. I'm the Senior Manager of Digital Engagement and Products. And I will be looking at the chat. So if you have any questions during Ashley's demo, feel free to ask them and I will interrupt her so that we can make sure we get all of your questions answered. So yeah, just put them into the chat. Whenever you have any questions, we'll either answer them via the chat or I'll ask Ashley as we're going through everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. All right, everybody. So I'm just going to dive right into it with doing a walkthrough of the actual portal itself. So again, we're going to start with how you log in, editing your personal profile, editing your company profile, and then diving into the networking component of the event. So I do want to start off that if you've logged in, gold star. If you haven't logged in, that's okay too. So that's one of the reasons why we want to talk through how you can access it. But I did want to reiterate that about a week ago is when we did go live to our exhibitor reps, so that way you guys could start editing your company profiles. Today, we have launched to buyers for Buyers Week. So Buyers Week is where our buyers are going to log in and they're going to start sending meeting requests directly to the exhibitors who they want to meet with. So when you log in, you're still going to have access to editing your company profile. You'll get your access to start scheduling meetings next week on the 5th. So that's Tuesday, August 5th is when you have access to start sending meetings. However, as buyers are sending you requests starting today, you'll actually be able to accept those. You just won't be able to send any requests to anybody else. So we'd like to offer that to that audience just because it's a nice way for them to be able to browse your profiles, look at the products you have, and just make sure that they have the ability to send a request as well. So either way, I'm going to dive in initially with logging in. So I am already logged in for the event. But if you have not logged in, what you're going to need is your email address and your badge code, which would have been in registration, but it also would have been emailed to you directly from the portal. If you don't know that for whatever reason, you can ping us at mobileapps@clarionevents.com. Melissa is going to be putting that in the chat for you guys, so that way you have it as a reference. After you've plugged in your registration ID or that QR code ID, it's going to have you create a password. So moving forward, if you wanted to log in on another desktop version, say you have another computer at home, say you download the app and you want to log in there, all you're going to have to do is log in with your email address and the password you created. So I'm going to log in now because I've already logged in. I'm going to use that password I created. Notes on the password, you don't need You don't need different characters. You don't need necessarily a combination of numbers, letters, symbols. You can make it something super simple. So it could be your first name, 1, 2, 3, whatever is going to be best for you to remember it. So I am now logged into the portal. Your first time logging in, it's going to have you just confirm some profile details about yourself. The more information you give us, the better, because that's going to help with the matchmaking and recommendations. So helping us make sure that we're recommending the right buyers for you. First item that I'm going to want to call up on here is going to be in this right-hand corner. I don't have a profile picture in here, but we're going to go ahead and do that. So I want to edit my own profile. So this is going to be unique to me as an individual. So in here, it's got my profile information. If I wanted to add my phone number, so that way any of my meetings, who I have with, if they wanted to have my lead information, that will be shared with them. But all of these fields are available for you to update, and you can edit these at any point in time. So say you made a mistake in something, say that you actually have a new product that you want to put in here that you're selling, you can all add these directly in here. So edit them as you'd like, and just make sure you hit update profile at the end. I do recommend adding your headshot in here so you can choose a file directly from your computer. I don't have one saved on this computer for me. It is a new computer, but we definitely recommend putting, if you have a headshot, any photo of you, if you wanted to use your company logo, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Otherwise, another important area that I do want to call out in here is going to be managing my availability. So this is going to be really important for you if there was time when you're not available during the event. So if I knew, for example, that I wasn't going to be available to make meetings on a specific day, say Tuesday, I end up having flight problems, or say Tuesday, I actually have to take meetings outside of the actual gathering, I can uncheck this box and then I can hit save changes. And now users aren't going to be able to schedule meetings with me on that day. So the system does a really good job of reading your availability that you manage in here, but it's also going to take into account meetings that you have scheduled. So you would never overbook a meeting. So when you try to go schedule a meeting with somebody, it's only going to show you times that are available for both users. So managing your profile, super simple. As I said, just make sure you have it up to date with the most information that you have. The other key area, and that's why we did our exhibitor launch last week, was for us to focus around managing your company profile. So this is really, really important for our buyers to be able to learn more about your company specifically and the products you're selling. So when you click on that My Team in that top right-hand corner, it's going to default to this meetings page. So this page is going to showcase all the meetings for all of your individual reps. So you can actually see right in here now, we have the Clarion account that we've created that has all of the Clarion team members who work on the gathering. So we can see right here that we have a group meeting on Tuesday, so it looks like that's going to be at 8:30. Then we have another one at 9, and it lists all of the users who are going to be in that meeting itself. What's nice on this view, if you have multiple reps and you want to see everybody's calendar, it does give you that bigger picture, so that way you can see it. You can filter on the status of meetings, so you can see all of ours currently are pending. They haven't been responded to, but it's a way for you to help narrow down what this meeting schedule looks like, not just for you, but for the team as a whole. You can look at a team member's calendar specifically. So if I click on Cameron's, I can see the meetings that just apply to her. So it looks like she was invited to that group meeting. And then it also looked here like she had a meeting scheduled with Marnie. So I can click on that and then also see those more details for Cameron specifically. What's nice about this? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, we got a question. So the question, which I think we'll answer a little bit later on, but I'm just asking it now. Why can requested meetings only be set for 30 minutes?
So we will definitely cover that portion when we get to the meeting scheduling. We have the option in the drop downs when you're scheduling meetings, you'll be able to choose different time slots. So there's a 30-minute time slot, a 60-minute time slot, and a 90-minute time slot. So you'll be able to select that when you're scheduling the meeting specifically. So I'll cover that when we showcase how you can schedule and send the meetings.
Sounds good.
Next, just on this page, in case you guys wanted to have one rep who's scheduling meetings for all of your reps at your team, they can actually do so directly here in this page. So I can actually schedule now a meeting, say I'm scheduling it on behalf of Marnie. I can do so there, and I'm going to schedule it with, I'm just going to use my team as the example. Doesn't look like I can, probably because they already have the invite. Let me try someone else. Let's see, Nadira. Trying to think a buyer off the top of my head. I don't know, actually. Let's try Bruce. I've been emailing a lot with Bruce today. Let's see if that pops up. Nothing found. Nothing found of this person. I know why. It's because I currently don't have the permissions to send meeting requests. So that's why that's not happening. So keeping me on my toes as I'm doing this demo with you guys. But either way, when you have that access and you start searching who you want to schedule the meeting for, you'll be able to type it and it will pop up for you to select that user, add that personal message. Make sure you want to add your location. These drop downs those will be available when you can start scheduling. So you'll be able to select your location. So that's going to be tied to the 30-minute, 60-minute, 90-minute meetings, add the date, and then select your time. The other functions that I do want to highlight in here that are going to be really important for you to update, we have leads option, but since we don't, our leads, this is going to be able to show you actually big picture view of who's interacting with your profile. So real quick for us, we have one that's in our system right now. So with Lisa, it looks like Marnie had viewed her profile and Marnie had showed an interest there. You will see on this page as more people interact with you or view your profile. So individual profiles, company profile, product pages, all of that will be in here for you to learn more about who's engaging with your company as a whole.
Ashley, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm just gonna.
Always interrupt.
There's a nice way to view this page. You'll see it with people as well, but if you switch to the toggle over to the grid view, you can actually add filters on this. So if you just want to see people who have interacted with a particular person on your team or a specific item that they have looked at, you can filter that here, and it's a little bit easier to kind of navigate and narrow the list down. Because we only have one person on this list, it's a little tough to see, but when you have more interactions taken to you and your company, you'll see, and it'll be a little bit easier to kind of narrow it down here.
It's also nice too that it's like you can customize it for your own view. So if you actually wanted to see what their job title was, what their location is, you can add or take away as many of these that are going to be beneficial to you as you look at it. So good call out, Melissa. Next, we have company chat. So users could theoretically send a message directly to your company page. So just keep checking in here to see if you have any of those. We typically don't see that much engagement on this portion of it. Usually it's just to the individual rep specifically, but just calling that out for you guys as the reference. Contacts. As this loads, no contacts yet in here. So this will have ongoing users once you have your meeting scheduled or you have connections in the platform specifically. Additionally, on this team members tab is where you'll see everybody who's tied to your company. So if you wanted to click on their wheel, you can actually edit profiles for them. You can manage their availability, or you can adjust their roles. So I'm in here, I believe, as an admin. So that gives me control to be able to do all of those items. But just another way for you to see every rep who's tied to your company at this point. And we take all of that from registration. So it should be automatically set up for you. All right, now the big one that we want to highlight is going to be editing your company profile. So similar to your individual profile, we want to make sure that you are filling out as much information as possible about your company, because this is going to be the way users are going to be filtering and searching on your products in the system. So we have the ability to add this header image, which will live in your profile as users look at it. You can add your logo by clicking here, choosing your file directly from the system, just making sure you hit save. As all of these fields are filled out, just make sure you hit the update profile button so that way it does save it. I do want to, this question actually came up earlier in our inbox just regarding the difference between headline and some of the other fields. So headline, that's going to just be a quick little note about your company. So fun little tagline, again, custom to you. So whatever you want that to be and what you want it to promote it. Some of our other events, we will see users updated to say, visit us at booth so-and-so, or looking forward to meeting with you. It could be anything that you guys want to use to entice users to come to your portal page. Next, the other one that was asked about was the location and summary. So location typically for us is always going to be city, state, sometimes country, depending if the user is out of country. And then summary is really the description or bio about your company specifically. So it could be when you were founded, what products you sell, just the history of the company, how it started, who's involved with it. So again, filling out as much as possible here to make sure that you guys have that. So once you're done, hit update profile. I saw Melissa, you came on mute, so I'm assuming you have a question.
Just two things. So Ashley mentioned the cover image. I just dropped the specs of that into the chat so that you can see it. Just a note on that, it doesn't show up on mobile. It only shows up on web. So just keep that in mind. And then we did have a very important comment from Marnie that I wanted to reiterate. She said, this is so important. This is the buyer's first opportunity to see your company and products. Don't forget to add photos. First impressions matter. So just wanted to share that a little bit.
Thank you, Marnie. So another thing that I do want to call out on this page, again, priorities, is making sure you're adding your product category specifically. So all of the different products that you sell. And then another one, just because it's a little bit different for how you fill out, is going to be with links. So you can add as many links as you have. So that could be your website, a link to a brochure, your socials, Instagrams, LinkedIn, Facebook, any URLs that you guys want added in here, make sure you do that. So you would just name it and then add that link directly in here. You can add a description if you wanted to, but I could make this maybe say LinkedIn, and then I would just plug in my actual LinkedIn URL in this field and then hit update. So it's nice, again, the more URLs that you have, the more that you can update there. So similar.
Sorry.
Go
Ashley,
ahead.
Sorry. I also just wanted to mention that I put the link into our exhibitor checklist into the chat. So this will show you the kind of basically everything that Ashley said, a checklist as to what you want to add for your company profile and your products, what's nice to have and what's needed to have. So just putting that in the chat as well.
Great. Thank you, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
So on this product page, this is going to be similar to how you edit your company profile page, but now this is going to be product focused. So if there is a specific product that you're coming to the gathering to promote, you want to make sure that you're adding that in here. If you have multiple products, you can make sure you're adding all of those into this system. So I'm going to click the add product button because I don't have any in here right now, but same thought and same logic. There's just a few less fields that you would add, but what's nice about this portion is you can add many photos. So if you have a main product image, but you wanted to showcase how it could be used, say it's customized, or say you wanted to show like the back of a product, different views of it, you have the ability to add all of these directly in here, put the name of the product, add a headline to that product. So again, if it's a tagline for it, similar to links, you can add links to these individual products if you have them on your website. Just making sure, again, filling out as much information as possible. Location is not going to be a mandatory field, similar with summary, but summary would be great to just put more specifics about that product. So again, if there's specs related to it, order times, whatever you guys think is necessary for them to know about this product, make sure you're putting that in there. Once you have it set, click add, and that product will now be saved. And again, at any point in time, I always want to emphasize this, is you guys can edit these profile details anytime you want. So just like your individual profile, your company profile, you can always go back and edit it if you wanted to add something, if you wanted to take away something. But again, we just ask that you have something in here for our buyers for them to start looking. I'm going to leave this page. Next is settings. So this won't apply for us since we don't have badge scanning, but this would be good if we had badge scanning if you wanted to add qualifying questions to somebody you scanned. So not a feature we'll be using for this. Brian, you have your hand up, but I don't think you can come off mute. If you don't mind putting it in the chat, that would be very helpful.
Yes.
All right, and then lastly on this page is going to be the exports tab. So this is where you'd be able to export any of your accepted meetings with the user's contact information if they allow it to be shared. And then separate export, we have export contacts and badge scans. So that list would be any meetings that you have scheduled or any mutual connections. So if you interest somebody and they interest you back, that's a connection that'll allow you to chat moving forward. and it will allow you to see their contact information again if they allow you to share it. So you have the ability to export these lists at any time. They do update in real time. So from there, you can download it as an Excel file or a CSV file, depending on what you prefer. All right. Brian, I don't know if I can't see if the chat right now because I'm sharing my screen,
Yes.
but any other questions on the Teams functionality?
He just asked if this was being recorded. So it is being recorded. Yes.
We are. All right. So now I'm going to just walk through the homepage and give you guys a general overview here. So we are on the web version of the app right now. So we do recommend that you download the actual mobile app for the show, because that way when you're on site, if you don't have your computer up and running, or say like you're on the weekend, you're scrolling through the app, you want to send meeting requests, you can do all of it directly from your device. So depending on your app store, so whether you have an Apple or an Android phone, just search Gathering Events and then download the app that way. You'll log in again with your email and your password you already created. So everything that lives in here right now is going to live in the mobile app too. So again, the networking functionality, the editing your profile functionality, all of that will mirror what we're showing you right now. I did want to call out the reason I mentioned all of the differences between the mobile app and the web is this Access My Teams button is going to be really helpful when you're on your mobile device, because when you click that, it will open that Teams functionality. So this section that I was just in, it will open it in your browser view, just so that way you have access to it. So not necessarily like you have two ways to access it here for the web, but on mobile, you're going to have to click that Access My Team button to be able to do so. I'm going to run through the next bit. So Melissa had mentioned this and put it in the chat. So we have our exhibitor checklist. So you have this at any point in time if you need to reference it directly in the app. Again, really highlighting the things that you should be adding, really recommending those high ones, other ones that are kind of must-haves, but again, just filling out as much as possible. So we've got that. The next item that you're going to see is as buyers now start interacting with company profiles, one of the things that we can do in the app is we can actually interest people. So this is going to allow us to say, oh, I favorite this person. It's another word for favoriting, essentially. So I'm looking in here and I see right now that it looks like Marnie was interested in me. Marnie also had scheduled a meeting request with me, which I'll showcase separately. But I can see that Marnie was interested in me. And what I can do is when I look at my full list of interests, I actually can interest her back. And it looks like now I can actually chat directly with Marnie if I wanted to. So I can click that button and here's our chat down here on the bottom page. So if I hit that request to chat button back, that's created that mutual interest for us. And now we have the ability to communicate back and forth. So hi, Marnie. And you'll see in here that there was a message too that Marnie had sent to me earlier when she sent my meeting request. I'm going to go back to the home page. And now see, I had interested Marnie back. It is no longer on my interested in me list. So anytime you have a new one, you'll see that user's name directly under that bar. All right, so under this bit, we have my chat requests. So these are going to be people who I have taken an interest in. So I'm just going to go to the list of buyers really quickly. And I can hit this request to chat button here. And you can see now that I've marked Abigail as interested. So when I'm on my homepage, if I click my chat request, I can see that I have interested Abigail and I've interested Nadira. So once they interest me back, we have the ability to be able to chat with each other. So I'm going to go back to my homepage. The other thing, again, as I said it earlier when we were talking through the leads dashboard, is we have this My Connections system. So this is going to showcase anybody who we have either a mutual interest with or a meeting with. So again, this allows us to see anybody who we can actually chat with. When you have access to be able to schedule meetings with, there'll be a button here to schedule meetings as well. So I'm going to go to the homepage. Next, this is, I know, probably the most important thing you guys want to see is going to be our buyer list. So this is going to be everybody who is attending the event and who you can start reviewing and start scheduling meetings with next week. For now, you can see this full list. And again, you can click into their profiles to learn more about them. One thing to call out is we do have team members who technically take the meetings on behalf of other users. So Abigail, if I'm looking at her name, she has this little button that says buyer no meetings. So if I look at her headline, it looks like I should contact Irma Gomez to schedule an appointment with Abigail and Irma for their company. So I did want to call that out for you guys. I know probably some of our regular exhibitors are familiar with that process, but for any of our new exhibitors, just letting you know as you're reviewing it, if you see that, just make sure to talk to the right contact to schedule any meetings. But as I look in her profile, I can see here that I already showed interest, so it will indicate me or any of my other team members if they've taken an action on them. But now I can also see more about Abigail in particular. So what she's interested in, where she's located, her number of locations, her team role. So she's a team member. Primary business is casino, and she's the final decision maker. So all our users, as they log in, so they can add company website if they want to, they can add summaries for themselves. So you'll want to click into the individual profiles to learn more about them, but you can also use these filters at the top of the page to help you narrow down your search. So if I'm looking for somebody who is interested in apparel specifically, I'm going to hit apply. And now it's going to pull up the full list of people who are interested in apparel. So I can now again click into their profile, learn more about these users specifically.
Just want to add on the filters bit, when you see someone who's taking a meeting with someone else, it would be great to just use the filter and then search by company name. That way you can see the full list of all of the buyers who are attending from that one company, so that you know who you're supposed to be making the meeting with.
Exactly. So that one didn't have it, but yes, as Melissa said, definitely use those filters to help you narrow down and search it. And then if I hit, you do it that way, or you can actually use the sorting. Let's reset this, apply, using that sort for company specifically. So now you can see Anakista and Wildside. I don't know if I'm saying that right at all, so forgive me. But it looks like they had 3 people from that one company there. So another great way to view it. So again, another great call out, Melissa. All right, so buyers. So other things that we have in here right now. So we've got our event map. So this is going to showcase the actual venue for right now. So that's a resource you guys have. Schedule of events is going to showcase all of the just events and times that are happening while you're on site. So looking at vendor registration, buyer registration, when the receptions are, networking hours, things like that. Costume party. I can't wait to hear about all the great costumes you guys wear and come up with when you're on site. But this will give you just a general idea of the show and when everything will be happening and when it and where it will be happening. So you can see here we've got a shuttle, it looks like, from the venue, from the hotel to the venue, and that this is going to happen at Howl to the Moon. So that's going to be the offsite dinner. So you can always add any of these to your schedule to build your personalized schedule. And if I hit my schedule in this corner on the left-hand side, I'm going to be able to see anything that I've added to my calendar and then anything that's also recommended for me. So some of these sessions I could just add directly, but if I wanted to filter here on date, so if I'm looking for things only on Wednesday, I can apply and see that. I can see here that I have a meeting request from Marnie that I haven't accepted yet, but clear in here. But it's a way for you to help see your full schedule at a glance. And then again, your meeting specifically. So when you have things scheduled, you could hit apply and be able to see those here. Let's go back to the homepage and then resource guide. So Melissa put this in the chat as well, but this is our resource guide that you could always access. It's going to have the how-to PDF in here. So again, how to navigate the platform. So basically everything I'm running through right now, it's going to be just in a PDF form for you to reference. We will update that page with a recording for this webinar. So that way you don't lose the recording for that. All right. So the other bit that I do want to talk through, and I'm going to have to toggle to a different account, but for right now, just showcasing meeting scheduling specifically and how you're going to build out your schedule that way. So I'm in here as an exhibitor rep right now. I don't have the ability to schedule meetings until next week, but as I said, buyers can be sending you meeting requests and they want to meet with you. So when I'm in here, if I go to my schedule and I click on meeting status and I click on pending and I hit apply, I will be able to see any meeting request that a buyer sends me. So from here, I can actually go in and accept, decline it, or reschedule it. Another great thing about this system is that it will send you an automatic email whenever anybody sends you a request. So when Marnie sent me this invite, I got an email to my Outlook directly with that meeting invite, and I can accept it directly from there as well. So you guys should be seeing emails, but you will also be able to access those directly in here as well. So just a note on that for this week in particular, as buyers are sending meeting requests, keep an eye on those emails.
Actually,
I am gonna, oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just to note, one of the things that we noticed sometimes with the meeting request is if you receive a meeting request and you find that the meeting has already been declined, if you have an out of office set up in
Good
your
point.
in your email, the chance that it automatically declines that meeting request is pretty high. So in the resource guide that I shared via the chat, there's instructions on how to make sure that that's not happening. But of course, you can always just email us to kind of figure out why they may be happening, why that may be happening, so that it doesn't happen and you're not declining meetings that you actually want to take. So just keep that in mind. If you see that you're getting requests and then you go in and it's canceled or declined, it may be that your Outlook or your Gmail or whatever you're using or whatever email is being hosted on is declining it for you.
We do have that as a slide. I think it's slide 14 in the resource guide.
There you go.
With the specifics on that have like for Outlook if you're using Gmail. So thank you, Melissa, for calling that one out too.
Yep. We also had a couple of questions.
Oh, yay. Okay.
If there's a big buyer that's not currently attending the show, can we invite him or her? If so, what's the specific process to get the buyer up to speed with the hotel portal food schedule?
So with that one, I think you would want to reach out directly to either Marnie or Patty, who's going to be working on the buyer side. So working on that recruitment. So they can again see qualifications, see what we can do to get them registered for the event and making sure that they, one, have access to it and then making sure that we can get them in the portal. So definitely share any of that sort of thing with the team directly.
Marnie actually replied while I was speaking. So thank you, Marnie. And she said you could forward your buyers that are not currently attending to her, and she had supplied her email. And then there is another question: is there a maximum limit on the number of meeting requests that can be sent out?
No limit. So when you guys have access next week, you'll be able to send as many as you would like.
Great.
All right, we're good on the chat so far.
We're good on the chat so far. I'll interrupt you if I need to.
Okay. Great. So I'm now logged in as Cameron, so I hijacked her account, but I did want to show you guys how you'll be able to schedule meetings once you have access to that on the 5th. I do want to call out when that does switch in the portal, you'll also have this block on the homepage that will draw bigger attention to your pending meeting requests to make it easier for you to accept or decline meetings. But I wanted to showcase on here on your buyer list as you're looking at who to schedule meetings with. Let's see, those are buyers. So another thing that's great about the buyer no meetings or the buyer who will be taking the meetings is you'll be able to see right away who's not taking meetings because you won't be able to send a meeting request to them. So you'd be able to interest them and request to chat, but you wouldn't be able to schedule a meeting directly. So you can see here, this Alicia is a buyer, so I can schedule a meeting with her, whereas Alex is not, so I don't have that request a meeting button. So as I'm looking at this and I find somebody who I do want to meet with, I'm going to actually test this with a staff member. So that way a buyer's like, who's this person from the team who wants to meet with me? Oh, we already have a meeting. Let's use Catherine as the example. we already have Marnie, you scheduled meetings with everybody, so now I can't do it. So I'm just gonna do it to a buyer, but I'll cancel it right away. So I'm gonna request a meeting with Alicia. So again, I can click into her profile to do so, or I can actually do it from the page I was just on. But either way, it's gonna be the same interface for how I do it. So I can now see it's going to Alicia. If I wanted to add more participants, so if I wanted to add somebody else from her team, I can do that by searching her name, the user who I want to add to the meeting, etc. But for now, I'm just going to do that with Alicia. There's going to be the option to send a personalized or add a personalized message. We highly recommend this because this is going to make sure that the buyer understands why you want to meet with them and what you want to talk about. So I think giving them the more detail, definitely the better. We don't recommend doing a mass spamming of invites to people with the same message over and over. Again, the more personal, definitely the better. Once I have that message put in here, here's where I'm going to be able to select my location. So right now we've got the 60-minute meetings. So this goes back to that question we had earlier, a 30-minute meeting or a 90-minute meeting. So say I only wanted to meet with Alicia for 30 minutes. It's now going to generate the times for me based off of just 30 minutes. So I can see the 30-minute increments here. And then, as I said, it'll select, I can change any of the dates that I would want to meet. So if I just wanted to meet with her on Friday, and now I can pick my time. So again, it's going to read Alicia's schedule. It's going to read my schedule. If I wasn't available on Tuesday, Tuesday would not be an option for us. So once I've selected those, I'm going to hit that send button. I'm not going to do it for this sake, but I hit send. Alicia will get an email with the request, and then on her homepage when she's in here, she will also see my name now listed under her pending meetings. If she's got the app downloaded on her phone, she will also and she has push notifications turned on. She will also receive that there. So again, wanting to highlight again, making sure you're doing that personalization when you're sending your request and making sure that you're not spamming the audience and really prioritizing who you want to meet with first when it comes to sending out those requests.
Ashley, we had a question,
right.
which was answered in the chat, but I do want to speak to it. So on the location of the meeting, where do we meet? Is it at our booth? And yes, all the meetings that are scheduled through the portal are going to happen at your booth. It will automatically default to your booth location.
Correct. Yep. So we, as a test account, so Cameron is also part of the Clarion team. You can see in here that it's got Clarion events and then the different time frames. So all of our exhibitors will have their unique location that's tied to them listed. So you won't have the ability, you couldn't schedule it at somebody else's booth by mistake. So as they schedule it with you, the only option for them to select would be your booth.
We did get a couple more questions. So as an apparel vendor, my meetings run 60 to 120 minutes. Is there not, frequently there is not enough longer appointments? Can that be changed? So I think with this, it's dependent on yours and the buyer's meeting availability. If they don't have a 90-minute block available on their schedule, it's not going to show as an available location. So the quicker that you get in here on the 5th, once you get access, the quicker that you go in here and request out your meetings, we recommend doing that. But it is going to block out your schedule for any pending meetings, which is probably why you're not seeing a lot of the longer meetings. Ashley, correct me if I'm wrong.
Nope, that you hit the nail on the head there.
And then we have another question. Will a buyer be more apt to accept a meeting with a new vendor if the meeting is shorter in length?
You know, it's a very good question.
It's a really good question.
Marnie, I don't know if you have any insight into that in particular. I'm only filling in for Cameron on this side, so I don't have any like specific insights to that there. But I would say even if you scheduled just if it was a 30-minute meeting with somebody who was new to you, you could always schedule another meeting as a follow-up with them. So again, if you started out 30 minutes, decided you needed more time, you can absolutely schedule another meeting with that user so you can continue the conversation. Also,
I also
too,
think
if
it's
you,
important. Oh, go ahead,
go ahead.
Ash. I was just gonna say, I also think it's important. I would start out with 30 minutes and then say, I'm happy to change this to a 60-minute meeting or a 90-minute meeting if you think that you want to discuss more. But I think starting out with 30 minutes is a good starting point, because the buyer's schedules do get overwhelmed. It's just a matter of fact, right? Everyone's schedule
Yeah.
kind of gets booked up. So that's how I would kind of get in there.
Yes, to go off that too, it's using the chat, right? If you schedule a meeting and it's accepted, you could always go back in and adjust the time if the time is available.
We got another question. How often is the attendee list updated? So how often are buyers being added into the program?
So buyers, I can't necessarily speak to the recruitment side and how like frequently people are still being added to it, but our system is pulling in users as they register. So I think it's like a 15-minute sync time. So anytime somebody new gets added, it will pull into here. I'm trying to think. Melissa, did we have that? What was the status? We don't have the status in here.
No, we don't.
No, so I would just make sure you keep checking frequently. Um, Marnie, I don't know if this is another bit too. I know at some point we will have a finalized attendee list to be sharing with them, but um,
I think if
probably,
you go, would you mind going back to the buyer list?
yep.
So I think when you're in here and you get access, I would highly recommend requesting to chat with the people that you want to meet with. Even if you can't request a meeting yet, request to chat, get that kind of an introduction out of the way. If you know that you don't want to meet with them, hit skip. They can't see that. That's only for you to know. And that way you can kind of go through the list and see when new people come in, you'll be able to see, oh, I need to either take some sort of action on this person. That way, when new people are added in, you can easily see on the buyer list who you haven't taken an action on. That's how I would do it.
Love that. Any other questions?
Not right now. Does anyone else have any other questions?
No?
All right.
All right, I'm gonna go back to this slide though, just for you guys. If you did have any portal specific questions, please email us directly at mobileapps@clarionevents.com. So we can take a look at any of the questions, issues, anything you just need help with, we're happy to help you there. So that's going to be specific to how you're scheduling your meetings, logging in, setting up your companies, etc. If you have any general questions about like registration on your end, your meal tickets, things like that, Catherine Adams is going to be your main contact there, so she can help you. So again, really the difference just between portal specific and then general exhibitor questions for the show.
So we
I'm
did
gonna
get a
stop.
question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Ashley.
sharing.
I'm sorry. At
No,
what
you're
point during the buyer interaction through the portal do we get access to their email and direct contact information?
So in the system, as I said earlier, in that Teams dashboard with the leads for your accepted meetings, you can download that at any point in time. So like say you have an accepted meeting come Tuesday next week, you could download that. If that user did allow their contact to be shared, you can get access that way in real time. So again, it's just going to be dependent on like the engagement that you have there, but you can definitely download for sure.
And then Bruce just said, a buyer just emailed me, don't see the 30/60 meeting drop-down menu for meeting requests. Bruce, you won't see it just yet. You'll see it on August 5th when exhibitors have the option to start sending out the meeting requests. At this point, buyers are able to send out requests to you so you can accept them, but you can't send meeting requests out. Any other questions?
Fire already sent me the request and he doesn't see it. All right, Bruce, we'll take a look at that on the back end. I'll make a note of that and we'll circle back with you directly.
Yep.
Bruce, if you don't mind letting us know who the buyer was, that would be appreciative. So if you want to email the mobile app inbox with that user's name, and then we can go from there, that will be helpful. All right, anything else? No? Oh, will the recording get emailed automatically? We will trigger an email with the recording, but we will add the recording directly to the portal page that we have. So where we had that PDF of the resource guide, we'll make sure to put the recording on that as well. Yes, I think
we're all
that
set.
I
did
think
put
we're
our-
good.
I put our email address in the chat, so please make sure you copy it before you leave the meeting. And I put a couple of other links in there too. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.